we were riding hard when we were in the mountains, and 3 or 4 years, and you rode the legs off them. It's steep, hard country, and they'd be all right in the valley and down in softer going, but their knees, they get over in front. They don't stand up as well. And that's steep country, and it's hard, and you're pushing hard every day, and sometimes you're on that horse for 8 hours and 10 hours. And I can remember leaving in the dark in the morning and coming in at like 10 or 11 at night.
Yeah, that's a hard day.
On one horse.
One horse.
Right.
Horse is doing the work, yeah.
Not so bad if you could trade off, but we were going a long ways and working hard over there and then coming back over the mountain. And things are relative to the time and date, but I paid $100 for one of the best horses I ever owned. He came in on a load of Mustangs that came from Nevada. He wasn't a Mustang, he was a good bred black horse.
That was that black horse that you
Right.
liked.
And I had him till he died. $100 was quite a bit of money. I was making $150 a month when I rode for Chester. I got fed, but I fed most of what I ate was venison.
I was going to ask, when you're all day over the mountains on a horse, what do you bring for food?
You kind of make jerky. You kind of eat sardines.
Like out of a can? Like
Yeah.
what do you mean you kind of make jerky?
Well, we made jerky.
Okay.
I made jerky all summer long.
How?
It's just dried meat.
But like in an oven? Like
No, I just put it out and let it dry.
Just like out like on a rock or some concrete or something?
Well,
On a rack.
you try to keep the flies off it until it sets up. We had a couple screen boxes that we put it in, and it's got quite a bit of salt and pepper on it.
So just out in the sun in the summer, just
Yeah.
let it dry out.
I like it best that way. I've tried smoking it. We still make jerky all the time.
They just dry it over their wood stove in here.
We got racks that we put on the wood stove. Maxine takes care of it, rolls it around. She puts garlic salt in it now, which really makes it good.
I advocate for a little teriyaki or something, but it doesn't happen.
No. And Aaron likes to smoke his, and other people like smoke, and we've been doing this for forever.
Yeah.
Like 10,000 years?
yeah.
long?
Yes.
Okay,
Since we came over the Bering Strait.
I got married when I was 27. I'd been in the mountains for about 10 years,
Yeah.
making jerky then,
Yeah.
and we've made jerky ever since we got married. And we used to have a production deal around the table with 3 little kids cutting up jerky and cutting the fat off it and salting and pepper and putting the garlic salt on and then putting it in the kettles to go overnight in the refrigerator. And like I said, we've done it ever since. It's,
Did you and do you still work on, not that you're following a recipe, but are you experimenting with different?
no,
You
we don't
have dialed in
experiment.
since
It's the way we like it.
Yeah.
And I have a daughter that would revolt
If you changed it.
if I changed it, and I have a granddaughter now that would revolt if I changed it.
Yeah.
They are my 2 people that like the jerky the most. Everybody likes it,
Sure.
but Savannah and Dina are,
It's the only way.
They're loyal.
yes. And Maxine boxes it up and sends it to them no matter where they are.
Do you change it if it's venison or elk or
No,
it's all the
same recipe.
Is it which animal do you prefer to be made jerky? Which jerky do you prefer the most?
I get a little higher quality out of the elk meat because it's just bigger meat.
Oh.
But,
What do you mean bigger meat?
well, okay. The hind end on an elk leg is like this big around.
Each ham.
Yeah. The hind end on a venison leg is like this. So you can get nicer, bigger slices of meat. And unfortunately, I have been forced to make jerky now out of some of my prime steak meat.
It's because of the family demand for jerky.
So I don't get as many venison steaks as I used to.
Yeah, yeah.
And the deer aren't here.
Yeah,
That's
the deer
another
aren't here.
problem. We used to have lots of deer. I mean, they were just crawling around
Yeah.
this place. Now, we've got a picture, I'll show it to you later, of a cougar walking up the road right over here.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, cougars everywhere and deer scarce.
So,
Is there any difference in how it comes out, dried out over the stove versus on a rack outside or anything? Is that kind of the same difference, or
I think it's about the same.
yeah? How long does it take to dry out?
Takes about about 3 days.
And a fire like nonstop burning in the. Wow.
Our wood stove doesn't go out from October till April,
It's on anyways.
right?
That's
And
cool. And then inside, of course, probably the biggest deal is you don't have to worry about flies buzzing all around messing with it, right?
right,
To the
and
same extent.
they don't seem to bother it because I think well, they're just not there.
Yeah.
They're just not there.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see. Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking about jerky not long ago. Reading this ebook. That's what the Indians ate when they were on horseback. It's like it's dense and small. It takes up enough space. Doesn't go bad. In other words, today when you're going over the mountains on a horse.
a pocket full of that. You better have some water though, because and in the mountains there, there's places to drink. You know,
Yeah.
we can always find something to drink, so we're not carrying water. But jerky will make you thirsty.
Did you ever get sick drinking just out of like mountain streams, or?
I never have.
Never had giardia?
Nope.
Well, I got it in Wyoming one time. I was sick for 2 years, off and on.
It's bad when you get it.
It is. It is. It hurt.
Yeah.
And I've got a friend Fred Whitmore. We saw him last October. He's died. We're going back to Wyoming Labor Day this year for his memorial service. But he used to hunt a lot, and one particular elk hunting trip right up in the Beartooth Range, pristine North American wilderness, killed an elk, looked around, here's a spring running right out of the crack of the rock, elevation 8,500 feet, no civilization anywhere, drank a belly full, giardia, bam, nailed him.
It might not have been there though.
Might not, but he was pretty assiduous about where he drank during the rest of the trip, because there was a lot of conversation about that, so he'd been drinking anyway. He just was sure that he had been betrayed by a mountain spring.
I've drank some pretty questionable water. Mm-hmm. When we first started running the cows in the mountains here, we didn't know where all the water was.
Mm-hmm.
And you got pretty dry a time or two, and then we found where the springs were, and I've drank some pretty questionable.
And you were really grateful you found it.
It tasted good.
Yeah, well.
Of all the drink I ever drunk, how would that go from Rudyard
Of
Kipling?
the drinks I've ever drunk, the sweetest was the cup from Gunga Din.
Yeah, yeah,
It was vile and it stunk, but of the drinks I ever drunk.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank all you guys that have been ordering knives from me, and I've got to talk to people all around the world, and it's been a huge amount of fun for me because I don't go anyplace. These two knives are going to Dubai, which I think is crazy because how in the hell am I ever going to get to talk to anybody in Dubai? This is a great job for an old man, and it's a lot of fun. I got to talk to a guy in Poland the other day. I've got knives in Singapore. I don't have any in South America, which I'd really like to have some down there. It's just been a huge blast for me to talk to people around the world. I've made new friends all around the country, but I need to talk to a guy named James Kindred who sent me his money, but I don't have the order form. And if you can hear this video and get hold of me, I'd really appreciate it. My friend Steve Harris has been making sheaths for us for these knives. They're some of the most beautiful leather work you'll ever see. They're expensive, they're $100, but they're worth it. I'll keep making these knives just as long as I can. As I said, it's a good job for an old man. If you're on the website and are thinking about ordering a knife, I really appreciate the notes that you make. Sometimes the order forms aren't complete. I might not have the whole address. I don't know why that happens. But the more notes and stuff you can put in there, the more help it is to me. It's really important that when you fill out the order form, I get the notes of everything you want on the order. It helps me a lot. Thank you.